all things Randi at RandiRhodes.com.
Go for launch.
Speaking truth to power, the Randi Rhodes Show.
All right, here's Representative Adam Kinzinger on his way out.
So I'm back in D.C., and what a historic time, obviously. You know, I look at this, and I'm in here looking at a minority leader, Kevin McCarthy, who hasn't really said a word about his members that have shown Putin sympathy. I never could have imagined my party would not just even have somebody that's showing Putin sympathy, but would not vomit them out if they rose their ugly head. You know, we have people like Tucker Carlson, in essence, just asking questions. That's his thing, you know, about whether or not the CIA did, you know, frame all these atrocities we're seeing in Ukraine. And then the latest outrage of the day is some woke thing on Disney or whatever it is, you know, Dr. Seuss we've moved on from. I got to tell you, we've got a bunch of children in this job. We've got a bunch of people that sit around. The world order is being challenged for the first time since World War II.
Yeah.
And they're sitting around thinking today about how we can win our next election, what the newest outrage is, what's the next thing we can do to get people angry and upset and get their money from them for our re-election. We are being governed by a bunch of children, by a bunch of people that are not serious about running the United States of America and truly don't understand the threat that's out there from Vladimir Putin, from China, and from some of these actors in the world that want to destroy our place here. I mean, there is a genocide going on in Ukraine, and the outrage is over what's happening in a Walt Disney. You guys deserve way better. I mean, I'm glad I'm leaving here in a year because I'm just being surrounded by a bunch of children.
So he's a Republican, obviously, Adam Kinzinger, and he is leaving. We're going to lose a man who I would disagree with on many, many, many issues regarding health care or privacy rights or antitrust laws or taxation or like you name it. There's a million things I would disagree with him about. But he is at least honest and at least cogent, present, grown up, and adult. And when you look at the Republican Party of today and you realize you are dealing with people who get outraged over M&Ms, who get outraged over green eggs and ham, who are outraged about Encanto and Disney and all kinds of, fake issues. Like they invent things. They get everyone angry about their invented thing, like CRT is being taught to kindergartners or some such crap. And then they legislate against the imagined offense and use that legislation to create a different offense, to take away your right to protest, to take your right away for free speech, to take your voting rights away, to gerrymander you out of existence, or to make it so inconvenient to vote that you have to literally register months in advance for an election you weren't even thinking about that might happen, 3-4 months down the road. This country, it's easier to get a gun than it is to vote. That says something about what they're doing, what their priorities are, who they answer to, who's paying them to do this. And it's really, really scary, especially now that you understand that there is a battle going on in this here world for democracy versus autocracy. There is a major shift in the world order of things. And you've got countries like China that are mass surveillance states. You have countries like India that can't decide which side they're on, but they're nuclear. You have countries like Russia who have decided that they are not on the side of democracy. They are not on the side of free speech. They are not on the side of freedom of religion. They are not on the side of having, the ability to address your government for any grievances or for the application of justice. You have decisions being made in countries all over the world against our way of life, against the free world. And the Republican Party keeps on telling their adherents telling their loyal, telling their sycophants, telling their viewers and their listeners that Russia is right to do this, that Russia is right, and that the idea of freedom of speech is bad and dangerous, and that there are actual Nazis in Kiev. There are actual Nazis in Lviv. There are the entire population of Ukraine is Nazis. And in fact, there are op-ed pieces, opinion pieces that have been published in the Russian press that literally are calling for the liquidation of the entire population of Ukraine, saying the excuse that your government is bad but the people are good doesn't hold water in Ukraine, because the people of Ukraine have voted for this government and they knew they were voting for Nazis, and so they must be liquidated as all being Nazi sympathizers or Nazis themselves. They are talking about the final solution for Ukraine. And Republicans are saying either they're for that or they just don't care.
When I graduated from high school in 2003, two kids on my block graduated from high school in 2003. Both of us enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps. We did not serve in the Marine Corps to go and fight Vladimir Putin because he didn't believe in transgender rights, right? Which is what the U.S. State Department is saying is a major problem with Russia. At the end of the day, we serve to defend our own country. And I think it's ridiculous that we're focused on this border in Ukraine. I got to be honest with you. I don't really care what happens to Ukraine one way or another. I do care about the fact that in my community right now, the leading cause of death among 18 to 45-year-olds is Mexican fentanyl that's coming across the southern border. I'm sick of Joe Biden focusing on the border of a country I don't care about while he lets the border of his own country become a total war zone.
So you have an annihilation, you have an extermination, you have a redo of the Nazi, final solution, the liquidation of an entire population of people. This one not over religion, no. This one not over, and you understand that J.D. Vance there in that clip, that he would be on the side of Adolf Hitler, and he would be telling his voters, he would be telling his audience, he would be telling his sycophants, his followers, that we don't need to go to war against Adolf Hitler because all Adolf Hitler is doing is killing gay people, right? Because that is what Adolf Hitler was doing in tandem with killing Jews. But because they're very busy with the George Soros stuff and the Jewish space laser, conspiracies and all that, plus they're anti-gay, Hitler would have been right in their world. Just like Putin is right in their world. Tucker Carlson is sitting on his show saying he's on the side of Russia. Why should he be on the side of Ukraine? He's against sanctions. He doesn't think that, Ukraine is worth sanctioning Vladimir Putin, who stole all his money from his own people. He stole it. He did nothing to earn it, nothing at all. And what's really crazy is the uber left is in agreement with the uber right. They have met in Ukraine. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.